there's another theme just made me remember you was talking there that runs through all the Sharpe books, and it's certainly present in Tiger right away. Is this idea that privilege, that you're able to buy your commissions in the British Army. So it's just rich people that are leading good soldiers, or this thing that the average soldier is actually really worth something. They're not just a cannon fodder, a piece of meat to be whipped at the slightest infraction. That that whole theme comes up
Mm-hmm.
every book, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I thought you were going to say the theme of the fact that the enlisted men are scumbags. You know, like there's Wellington's famous "they're the scum of the earth" quote, where and then Cornwell says that they're the thieves, they're the drunks, and like he says over and over again how most of the men joined just for the rum ration, or because it was that, or deportation, or they join the army. Apart from one or two that join for adventure and then regret it, it's because they've got no other choice, and they are basically the dregs of society. If they could do anything else, they would be doing it, but they can't. So the bottom of the rung is to be a soldier, unless you're disabled and on the street or whatever. But at the same time, he shows how they are. He says, if you give them, if they're well led, if you give them the opportunity, they'll show you how good they are. They'll show you how professional they can be. And in contrast with a lot of the people they face, they're well trained and they're well drilled and they can follow their orders properly, and they will stand in the face of, they will march towards a battery of artillery that's just blasting them to pieces, and they'll just march straight up to it because they can do it. And you see them kind of humanized as well through the punishments and stuff, and the potential rebellions, and the and being driven to desertion by evil NCOs and officers and stuff. So it's throughout the series, you're right, it's about the fact that these men are scumbags and if you're not careful, they will just get drunk and thieve and rape and all the rest of it. But on the other hand, they need to be well led, and if they are, then they don't deserve the condemnation of the officers, or the contempt of the officers either. You know.
Yeah, yeah, it's really interesting that thing about the scum of the earth and things. But isn't the full line something else that's actually a redeeming? Isn't the full quote actually got a different sentiment to that?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, possibly. I'm not
Um,
sure.
but yeah, I mean, these guys are killers, really. Like all soldiers, your job at the end of the day, the bottom line is you kill. You know. So
Well, not even. Yeah, for these guys, they're not even. Obviously, there is the bayonet charge and stuff where they will march close to an enemy, give them a volley, and then charge at them with their bayonets and have a bit of a Barney at close range. But the main thing that they do, that the enemy soldiers, especially like untrained, and the militias and the Indians and stuff that they meet, the thing they do is just stand and not run, and walk towards enemy fire and stop when they're told to stop, and then fire their muskets and reload and keep firing.
yeah, like
That's
through
that's
danger, fire, shot, and shell, to the very walls of hell, we shall
yeah,
stand and we shall stay, over the hills and far away. Yeah, that thing. Yeah,
because
like
that's what
moving
really.
forward when you haven't even been ordered to load your muskets yet, and yet guys are getting killed by grape shot, and you've still got to just stand there or move forward, and you've just got to do that. It's mad.
Yeah, like at Waterloo, where for most of the day, for a lot of those regiments, they were just standing there on the hill, taking artillery fire, just getting shredded, and they're just like seeing a line of men next to you, and a line of men on your left, and a line of men on your right, just getting wiped out by a cannonball, and then you're just standing there waiting for your turn, and then you just stand there because you've been ordered to, and you're not supposed to run away, so you just stand there.
You can even see the
That's
cannonball skipping towards you and stuff. Like,
Yeah, yeah, and you're just supposed to just stand there and take it because you're not allowed to run. That's what made them great, really. That and just firing their muskets, reloading and firing and reloading and firing, but just the courage to stand in the face of all that. It's mad. You can't really imagine it. You can't really imagine how terrible it would be. It's not. There's not really anything comparable. Obviously, they were still trying to do that to some extent in the First World War, but there weren't really any other periods where it was like that. There was just this period of 100 years or so, maybe 200 years. But you're talking about in the medieval period and even in the 17th century, where this kind of English Civil War period, it wasn't like that. You wouldn't just stand there for hours taking fire. The
Just
battles were
two massive bodies of
much
men
shorter.
just standing there and just lining up and firing until one quits.
Yeah, and and just marching up a hill towards another lines of men that are just shooting down at you, and you're supposed to just walk through volley after volley until you engage with the enemy. Yeah, you can't really you can't really imagine the courage to do that.
Those men who fought in a big battle before. One pace forward. This place is called Talavera. There's going to be a battle here tomorrow. You'll fight in it, maybe even die in it. But you won't see it. There's a lot of smoke in a battle. Our cannon, their cannon. Our shot, their shell. Our volleys, their volleys. You don't see a battle. You hear it. Black powder blasting by the ton on all sides. Black smoke blinding you and choking you and making you vomit. And the French come out of the smoke. Not in a line, but in a column. And they march towards our thin line. Kettle drums hammering like hell, and a golden eagle blazing overhead. They march slowly, and it takes them a long time to reach you. And you can't see them in smoke, but you can hear the drums. And they march out of the smoke, and you fire a volley. And the front rank of the column falls, and the next rank steps over them with drums hammering. And the column smashes your line like a hammer breaking glass. And Napoleon has won another battle. But if you don't run, if you stand until you can smell the garlic, and fire volley after volley, 3 rounds a minute, then they slow down. They stop. And then they run away. All you've got to do is stand and fire 3 rounds a minute. Now, you and I know you can fire 3 rounds a minute. But can you stand?